Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Oz DeFi podcast. We have a special episode of this Blockchain for Good podcast that we're doing with our partners at Fableration. We're going around the room over at the DEConference, the Digital Economy Council Conference of Australia. Getting tongue twisted there, but there's some great interviews that we've got here with folks from around the space and more that you would have seen as well last week, where we had Michael and Amanda talking about the books that they've created. This time we talked to some folks from the exchanges, major influencer that's just moved to Australia. And then we also get a look into the future of tokenization and whatnot in the blockchain space with the panel that Arturo was on. So check that out here. First up in the interviews, we have Jess Renden of Cointree. We dive into the work that she's doing in the space, and we even talk about a space that a lot of the exchanges are looking at and Jess has come from, which is SMSFs. Enjoy. Hey, it's Mark. Welcome back to another segment of the DEConference podcast that we're doing here at the Digital Economy Council of Australia. This is round number 2 because we just filmed for about 10 minutes and didn't even record. Luckily, this is the final of the things that I am recording interviews. So I am tired out from 3 days of doing this. But Jess, please tell the lovely audience who you are. What do you do in the space?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Jess Renden. I'm CEO of Cointree. We're a digital currency exchange established in 2013. So been around in the Australian market for quite a long time, and we make buy, sell and trade of crypto easy for the everyday Australian.
Fantastic. And folks may have heard about that, and if not, they should be typing away and looking it up. The glimpse will be in the show notes. But having been in the space as long as you have, how have you found this particular conference? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, look, it's been fantastic. I think I've been to so many of these events as well, and annually as well, with, DECA and then Blockchain Australia.
Yeah.
I really love the way that they've segmented the days into different categories.
Yeah.
It's worked really, really well. Day one was obviously, a lot about crypto, and then we've got regulation, and then we've got, today with the workshops and the roundtable,
yeah, exactly.
AI, blockchain, there's just so much covered, but it's worked really well. Which I've really enjoyed as well. Seeing I'm so crypto, it's been great to find out about other projects.
And these are projects that can actually help the original kind of crypto stuff that you're doing or blockchain stuff that you're doing. Now, the interesting thing has been that it was Blockchain Australia, so we would have Blockchain Week. Now it's Digital Economy Council of Australia.
Yeah.
And they are much more about the digital economy, which isn't just blockchain. It is stuff that's happening in the AI space, emerging tech. Even we had a session on day one on quantum.
Yeah.
And what are the things that are needing to look at there to do? Are we safe from it? What do we need to think about? So I think that there's a lot more learning at these ones, and true to their name, they're really delivering on what we expect from something like this. This is, like I said, it's much more emerging tech.
Yeah, and I mean that's fantastic. From the early days of everything just being so crypto centric,
Yes.
I think it's actually brought a really diverse crowd of people as well this week too. And having there's lots of people that I've met that have been just even general people from Queensland who are wanting to learn about digital economy in general. I think the team's done an incredible job. Yeah.
I think they really have. But what's been your favorite thing so far out of this? What's things that you might have seen from watching?
Yeah. I mean, again, from our piece as well, running an exchange, I really find it interesting to learn much more about the AI side of things, and then tokenization of real world assets.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
I have been really enlightened over these last couple of days to actually see how much is available for tokenization, and then the amount of offerings that are available, and then not just to not particularly just more for retail, but for SMSFs as well, then they can actually make their investments with tokenized assets instead of needing to go down much more of the physical approach.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredible, and it just shows where technology has come and is going as well.
I think it's interesting, especially here in Australia, and you know this coming from the SMSF space, so self-managed super funds for folks that are watching at home, pension funds basically. Australia has the 4th largest pool at the moment, and I say at the moment because we're projected to grow to number 2, of pension fund money in the world, as a country, as a nation. And that's a lot of money on the sidelines there that not all of it's going to be invested into crypto and stuff, but even if just part of that's an untapped potential opportunity. Yeah. I think it's 4.2 trillion at the last measure. Of that, many is managed by large superannuation funds, pension funds, but about 25%, like 1.2 or whatever the number is SMSFs. These are people that are just managing their own retirement money.
Yeah.
Offering them ways to actually get into the space is interesting.
Yeah, and it is. And look, even the percentage of SMSFs that are already investing in crypto is still really low in comparison to alternative potential.
Yeah.
And I guess when you take it back a layer as well, and that being something that I guess was my previous world as well. We've been supporting SMSFs for a long time.
Yeah.
The opportunity is really huge, not just for crypto though, but for SMSFs to invest in all different types of, offerings as well.
Diversification.
Well, that's it. And you see a lot of exchanges doing it, and it's something that, we're super passionate about as well. And educating people on how and what they can go about as well is it's really important too. And then when you even compare the markets, even just with crypto in comparison to traditional assets,
Yes, yeah.
It's still so small in comparison to property, and then even gold. It's just the beginning.
People complain about it. We talk about it being early and stuff and being the beginning. And why hasn't crypto done anything in the 10, 12, 15 years that it's been around? And it's just like, well, if it was doing those, taking over more of the financial market space on the tech that we had 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that's not a good thing. It's needed to mature. It's needed to learn and have hard lessons. We talk about speed running the economy. We have been testing in these sandboxes, seeing what works, what doesn't work, but we're seeing much more a blockchain infrastructure is now being used to actually deliver blockchain outcomes, like verifying things rather than just trusting. Yes. Where do you see us going with all of that? Like, what's the kind of crystal ball that you think we're heading to?
I wish I had one. So many people have asked.
Okay.
Yeah. So many people have asked this over the time as well. I think my biggest, I hope more so, is that blockchain technology and even cryptocurrency can be involved into much more, I guess, use cases, because there's so much, particularly for blockchain tech, like so many traditional businesses can actually lean on blockchain technology, but they just don't know how, or they're afraid of that. And I think I can really see that growing, because every year when we catch up at these events and other events throughout the year as well, you just see new projects and new ways of doing things. And I just see it growing more and more. And even in the crypto landscape as well, lots of people even now still go to me, why would I have crypto?
Right.
And for me, I think it's about educating people that they understand about what the actual use cases are, and and the source of value for these assets as well.
What problems are being solved, how are they solving it, and why it's better than the traditional means of doing it. It's always like about efficiency, or maybe it unlocks new opportunities. We see it in the AI space. We've seen it for the longest time in blockchain. Both can learn from each other. Do you have any kind of parting words for folks that are new to this space that are looking in?
I just think it's important to know what you're doing and try to understand a little bit about what you are wanting to invest in and how. From our side, we support retail, SMSF, high value. We support a myriad of customers. But I think what is really important is just trying to make sure that you do your research about what you're wanting to invest in, and that you know and you're prepared to, make that step and understand, I guess, what you are buying and holding. Because people, if they do that and they don't quite understand, it can sort of go the other way, because it's still a volatile market. So I think that's the biggest thing. And then, get on, start learning about blockchain and other projects and that too. It's a fascinating space, and there's just so much behind it. And we're just, we've got exciting things to do, I think.
Go check out Cointree, check out all the cool things that are going on. But Jess, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Mark, as always. Thank you.
Yes. Next up, we talk about the different events that have been going on with Kim from Independent Reserve, and just the fact that it's not too late to actually get into this space. More here. Welcome back, folks, to another interview up here on the Gold Coast at DEConference, the Digital Economy Council of Australia. Kim from Independent Reserve, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mart.
There's been some really interesting guests that we've had on, and I'm sure that as the conference has gone on, you've had some really interesting bit of networking and conversations and hearing what people have had to say on stage. For you, though, what has been we're a day and a half into it, what's been the most interesting thing for you?
I think that you always make the best connections often at side events when people have, had a little bit of a drink and are opening up a little bit more relaxed, definitely. Yeah. So last night, the event that was happening at the Beer Garden.
Surfers Brewery.
Yeah. So that was really lovely. A lot of people, live music. And that's when you can just be introduced to more people at once. Different people, like some accountants, some lawyers, some people that work in VCs and funds.
Oh, really?
Things, yeah.
Okay. Oh, very good. Did you stay out long, though?
Actually not. 9:30?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was like early. I finished up at 10. I had to go back to the hotel, do some work because, you know, the space still needs the things written, still needs some AI work that I'm doing. So that still needs to be done. But you got a lot out of it yesterday?
It was great. It was great, but also had to come back and catch up on some emails and stuff because this morning it started at 7:30. So yeah.
It's not true yet. We don't have just email like AI agents just running everything for us, but soon maybe.
At least I don't have them yet, unfortunately.
It's coming. We'll talk after. But you know, you've been in the space now for 2 years, Independent Reserve for a year. What's the journey been like for you so far?
Oh, it's lovely. It's great because the market's, I mean, getting better and better.
That does help.
There was the positive kind of election end of last year, and then people are just feeling some FOMO getting in. I'm really excited for the next couple of months as well.
Even for this conference, I think there's FOMO because at this, when we came here, there were a lot of people that we'd heard where they're saying that, oh, Eileen just came last minute and sorted out their trip last minute because they heard about others that were coming along and they're like, oh, I really need to go now. So it's an interesting kind of like space that we're in. Like people don't want to miss out on that little bit of FOMO that's been there. But with the work that you've been doing back to Independent Reserve, how has that been going? You've been doing a bit of travel, I hear?
Yes, I mean, we try to be in as many places as possible, right? We're a small team in the sales team, doing some events in the Sydney area, in Melbourne, been even on the other coast in Perth. So just trying to be everywhere because the time is now. Yeah.
I agree. Like if people are thinking about getting into the space or are just maybe a little bit hesitant, they need to just come to the events and just to see, because you guys like are supporting some different events. Like it's not just like, hey, buy this stuff. Like just be part of the ecosystem alone. No one's forcing you to do anything, but like by coming along to the stuff that you guys sponsor, the stuff where, you know, we've got this big industry conference, I think people learn more and more. Do you have any kind of like messages that you want people to know, that whether it's like you're talking to your friends or family or something like that, or just people that don't really know much about the space? Like, do you have any things that you wish that they would know to share with them?
I mean, that's a very recurrent message, is that it's not too late. I feel like people's ego is really, you know, keeping them from investing in something that's really great, even as a long-term investment.
Yeah.
It's, for example, if you buy Bitcoin and you hold for 4 years, it's never been possible to lose any money. If you lose for 4 years, the problem is people follow their emotions.
Yes.
They buy at the top when the emotions are high, price is at the top, and then they freak out a year later and sell, you know, at a loss. And just educate yourself. I think some people really enjoy the hand-holding part of things. I mean, there's so much information, not necessarily, you know, on people shilling meme coins, but just being like, what are the principles? What is Bitcoin? What is a blockchain? What is Ethereum? All this information, really high quality informations are on YouTube. So
plenty.
That's where you start.
Well, there you go, folks. If you want to hear more from Kim and Independent Reserve, make sure you check out the events and whatnot, and we'll speak to you more soon.
Lovely to have me. Thank you. Always happy to chat, so feel free to reach out.
We'll get you back on for another one. There's so many amazing networking things, but yeah, go and enjoy the conference.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
cheers.
you.
Next, we have someone that's just moved to Australia but is a large influencer in the online space and learning more about what's going on here down under. And that was Jana. And so she's from Brazil. We learn more about her background of getting into the space and just the importance of community. Check that out. Welcome back, folks. This is another interview from the DEConference, the Digital Economy Council of Australia, and we're here on the lovely Gold Coast. It is still grey skies out there, but we've got amazing guests, so it's keeping me all happy and sunny inside here. Jana, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
For people that don't know who you are, do you want to give them a bit of a background of what it is that you do in the space?
Yes, I want. So, first of all, I have been in this space for 3 years now. I started in 2022. Started as, let's say, just in the community from the NFT sites, and started passionate and getting more connected with projects. Started creating things, working with community manager, projects, blah, blah, blah. One thing led me to the other, and I started working marketing-wise and started creating the brand, pushing the brand even more. But also my background, I am from Brazil, and I am a mining engineer. So that just adds like a lot of what the fuck.
Mining? Like crypto mining?
No.
Real mining.
I worked with blasting before Web3. blasting of rocks.
Obrigado.
De nada.
That is perfect, because what a perfect metaphor, going from real mining into crypto, which has been a big part of it has been mining. But your journey into the space, how did you learn? How did you get started?
I mean, when I was first starting, I really had no idea even about crypto, like blockchain, like no idea. So that was very funny. As I started in NFT parks, the community was everything, everything. So literally, I say until nowadays, like the only reason still that I kept in the space was not the technology or how cool or how much I believed, was actually the people that I met, you know, the community, the people
that are watching this.
Exactly. I am the people person, you know. I stayed because of them, and I started learning by just like I remember when NFTs first crashed.
Yep.
I was I was in the Discord, and everyone was like, "Oh, Bitcoin, I mean, went to shit and whatever."
It's over.
Yeah, what the fuck is happening, guys? And then they started explaining me. So community people helping to understand what is going on, and one thing getting into the other.
I think that there's a lot of people that are going to follow a similar path, and you built like a great following in terms of like people seeing your journey on Twitter, and on other channels as well. What channels are you on? So there's X, Twitter, whatever you call it.
The main place.
Yeah.
We have Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah.
Fantastic. Those are great channels and for many people, they are either in some sort of like Telegram group where they're learning about this stuff. They're watching things on YouTube. No LinkedIn just yet?
This event is converting me to also be active on LinkedIn. But yeah, I do have some stuff already on LinkedIn, but not very active.
Well, we're going to start seeing that more, especially, I think LinkedIn's important just because the way that this place goes mainstream, yes, retail needs to be involved, but there's a lot more institutions, and you probably heard that here at the conference. What has been some interesting things from the conference for you so far?
Okay. I mean, to be honest, I'm much more, the insights and the things that I get is like talking with the people around. So talking here with many institutions, I see that, again, they are getting more than ever interest into what is going on in the Web3, the blockchain space. They want to understand more also let's say, how to connect these both worlds, like the community world and marketing with this still Web2, very structured, which is good. We need more professionalism into the Web3.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think like the conversations that I have been having so far, they show me more than ever that we are in the good direction where the companies, the exchange, the projects, they understand what needs to be done.
Yes.
The thing now is how can we do that, you know?
Yeah, it's the delivery kind of side of things. So that delivery is happening, the regulators, all these things happening in Australia where the Reserve Bank, our central bank, is actually trying to do some experimentation in the space. There's a lot of positive stuff, but for people that want to follow along with your journey, we'll put details in the notes below. But follow Jana, CryptoQueen, and you'll learn more about her journey and even get some insights on yours.
Oh, for sure.
Jana, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Cheers. And next up, we're talking robustness and resilience and the future of tech at one of the panels that we had up at DEConference with the Digital Economy Council of Australia, and Arturo on stage asking or answering, I should say, this question from Rachel just into how does this affect global trade? So some big brain type questions here, definitely worth checking out.
And we actually touched upon it in the preceding talk. And that is peer-to-peer transactions, but at a state level. So there are about 4 independent sources that are talking to trade between Russia, India, Russia with India, Russia with China, being traded in Bitcoin or Tether. Do you have any comment into the next 20 years, how that might disrupt the geopolitical landscape? Just an easy question.
I think that the peer-to-peer trading is actually a consequence of the current geopolitical climate, as opposed to the other way around, right? I mean, right now the U.S. is the central clearinghouse of the world, and that's a bit of an issue for multiple reasons. And I don't think that it's that much of an issue because of the politics per se, but because of the way in which we've effectively designed world trade. So it's just not robust. It's not resilient. And things happen everywhere. So obviously things will happen in that one central clearinghouse. So it's not a problem with the clearinghouse per se. It's the way that we decided for this to be, to work.
Can you go into some of the things you're talking about, the ramifications of our current system in terms of the connectivity base?
It's really interesting. So if you go back to, this might be a prelude to one of the questions that we have later on, but 1920s when we had the gold standard, and many people in these rooms might think, oh, that was a really good time because that we didn't have fractionalized banking, and there was actual physical value to currencies and yada yada yada. Cross-border trade was, or the reason for that is because we're talking about ledgers in physical currency. That meant that if I sent you X number, I'm one country, another country, I'm sending you X amount of value, we would then have to send gold to each other at some point, right? So let's say that at the beginning of the year, we start trading, and then we build a surplus. And at some point, we need to reconcile that. We need to margin each other, right? So we're effectively shipping gold, physical gold, to make this happen, all right? We then went away from this system, and we started to use the US dollar as a settlement currency because it was just actually much easier, not just because they wanted to control the world, which is the narrative that everybody has in their head. It was actually functional. And that simplified the process to a certain extent, but then it added a bit of fragility in the system. Right now, if we go back to the point of peer-to-peer trading, we've always traded peer-to-peer. It's only that now we can actually settle peer-to-peer.
Tech is wild and the future's untamed. Blockchain blazing, carving new lanes. AI whispers in a silicon scheme. Dreams coded deep in a mainframe dream. Algorithms dance on this digital dirt. Crypto's buzzing while the old rules hurt. From Sydney skies to the outback globe, emerging tech is the game we throw.